Hey, welcome to X3, the show that has three pundits and one topic. And I'm John C. Dvorak, the host. I got these other guys over here, Andrew Eisner and Joe Engo, just in case you don't remember them. So today's topic is the iPad 3, first round of problems. They get hot. Here I have my iPad 3.
And the case falls off.
Yeah, I hate that case, honestly.
No, it goes right back.
I need a better case.
It fits right on. It's magnetic, and
yeah.
And then you can make it into this, and then you can put the iPad on top of it.
Brilliant design.
So it goes on here like
Other
so.
side. There you go.
Yeah? Huh? It's unbelievably amazing.
Yeah. So what's your first impression?
So I think it's just a better iPad.
Yeah, of course, it's a better iPad. I mean, if you have an iPad 1, it's a huge
that
upgrade.
Much better than iPad 1?
iPad 1, absolutely huge upgrade.
Okay.
Versus iPad 2. Sure, it's a great upgrade, but will everybody need to run out and grab it?
Bunch of goo all over the screen.
Yeah, I wonder how that happened.
Yeah. So, what's your opinion about this heating problem?
It's completely bogus and ridiculous. Consumer Reports needs to just find something else to do.
So it's not hot at all.
They seem to have
I've been
some
playing
sort
Angry
of
Birds on this thing for a good 15 minutes.
I played Infinity Blade for 2 hours last night, which is a very intensive, graphically intensive game, and it barely got warm.
Maybe it's solitaire that heats it up.
So the Consumer Report says that it happens no matter what you do. After 45 minutes, it starts heating up. But then other people are saying it only happens when you have it plugged in and you're doing something graphically intensive, which makes sense. But either way, I still think it's completely bogus.
You think it might be the charger that's heating up?
Yeah, I mean, you're heating up the battery. I mean, you're drawing a lot of power from it while you're trying to heat it.
That would make sense.
Excuse me, charge it.
Huh.
But
Consumer Reports said that it won't charge the battery and play a graphic intensive app at the same time.
Is that right?
When it's plugged in.
okay.
But it makes sense.
How much work does it take? What is it using all the CPU power to charge the battery?
But anyway, this always happens when the iPad comes out. There's always some gate, syndrome that happens. So they're calling this heat gate. And what is it, John? You looking at something?
Well, I'm calling it bogus gate.
I thought we had some insulation up here to cut the sound down, but I sound like I'm in a giant cavern with this
Sounds fine to me. Well,
it sounds fine to you, but I'm hearing echoes.
Okay. So anyway, they always have these. So they've got Heatgate now, and I don't know. Maybe you're less sensitive to it.
I think it's bogus gate.
But it's
bogus gate.
Bogus gate.
And then they've also got Wi-Fi gate, which they're saying people are claiming that it gets dropped connections too easily.
I have not had that problem. I have used this thing for,
okay.
I would say, probably 25, 30 hours now.
Okay.
And I have not had a single Wi-Fi problem. Heating is fine. You're not going to guess my
And the
password.
third one they're saying is...
It's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 either.
You can't use the smudge marks either. So no.
They finally did what Android did some time back.
Exactly.
They gave up on the smudge mark approach.
Yeah, and then the third one is 4G gate. They're saying that people are they're discovering that they're hitting their caps like after watching 2 episodes of some TV show on 4G.
Are they really surprised about that, though?
I know that's not
a non-issue.
problem.
I mean, it's no matter whether you have LTE or not, you're gonna if you hit those caps, you're hitting those caps.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's not Apple's problem, but it is an issue that's going to happen with 4G. You're going to see all these unlimited plans and everybody getting throttled, and it's there'll be a big hullabaloo.
well, it's not unlimited if you're throttling people.
Well, that's true too. Yeah, that guy. By the way, we talked about that story. He got paid. They paid him off.
They paid him off. How much?
$850.
Well, that was part of the settlement.
No, well, there was there was AT&T had the option of taking it to a higher court, but instead they decided to pay it off. So
now here's a picture. This is what they say is going on. We're looking at this video, and of course they got a guy out in the midday sun. And I don't know how have you been in the midday sun with this display?
No, I mean I've been inside.
It's not going to look good. So this guy, of course, you show him in the shade there, as though he's in the shade, but I guess it's possible he's got
shades on.
But I've heard from a number of people that they say that this is going to revolutionize movie taking.
Yeah.
Because people are going to, if you can get this thing off, people are going to go outside and take movies with this thing. Hey, buddy,
it is seriously the most absurd thing in the world. When I see somebody with a tablet,
when you hand this thing, where's the camera?
The camera's down the bottom right.
So you're going to be like this, and your finger's going to be over. Oh, wait a minute. So you got to hold it up here or flip it over. which would be better.
Yeah.
When I see somebody taking video or pictures with a tablet,
I'm taking a movie.
You know, we made fun of these big phones where people are holding these 4-inch phones up there. This is like the 10-inch camera.
Hello, Mom.
I've gone to concerts and I've seen idiots holding up a tablet like this taking a video. And it's the most ridiculous thing in the world. I just want to really smack those people. I just don't get it.
We need a bunch
with your
of
phone, whatever. But
little punk kids stealing these things. So as you just hold it up like this, some guy should run by, grab it, and run off.
Yeah, especially since the San Francisco Police Department released a report the other day saying that like 6 phones are stolen a day.
Yeah, it's huge epidemic.
Or something like that. Like something pretty ridiculous.
Right. Yeah, the phone theft thing is really bad.
Yeah.
In fact, we had somebody at the office at Mevio, 2 of the women were walking down the street, texting. You know, they were walking, and instead of talking to each other, I guess they were texting to each other, I'm not sure. And so they're walking down the street, and some kid with a run by just grabs their phones and runs off.
Yeah. What happened to my wife? She was sitting outside talking on the phone, smoking a cigarette. Somebody walked up, grabbed the phone out of her hand, and took off running.
Oh, yeah? You actually lost the phone?
Mm-hmm. No, and she only had it for 3 days.
And you can't find it either because the first thing to do is take out the
no, we did. We were tracking them for a while. The police department was tracking
they're getting
them.
wiser.
But then they jumped on BART, and that was it. They were gone.
They take out the SIM right away and
and then you put it back on the market.
Yeah. Right.
It's a winner.
So,
all right.
iPad 3, $800, Joe's new $800 toy.
Yeah. I think it's worth it. Completely well worth it.
Why?
It's an awesome device. I love playing the games on it. The games are great. The video's great on it.
You know,
I need a better case, though. I really cannot stand that case.
This case is idiotic.
I haven't played with this much, but, and it is a beautiful device. But this is also, we could be looking at a situation where everybody has sort of like, this is building mythological proportions, the iPad, and all the competition is terrified. And it's okay, but it's not as if somebody can't come along and make something just as good.
Well, everybody's been trying and nobody's come close. Not even on battery life or anything else.
Just give it time.
It's a pretty high bar to try to achieve. But the biggest thing that's going on right now that I'm really wondering about is why are they just calling it the iPad and not the iPad 3? So there's been a lot of speculation to this.
Well, what do you think?
Well, there's a few different things that I'm thinking about it. One, that maybe Apple's realizing that they won't be able to come out with these crazy new upgrades every year, and that they're only going to be incremental upgrades. So it's better just to call it the iPads. This way people don't freak out that, it wasn't the it wasn't the iPhone 5, so I'm not going to buy it. There's people who are freaking out because the iPhone 5 was called the iPhone 4S. Stupidest thing in the world, but people wouldn't buy it because of that. So that's another possibility.
You think the next iPhone, which is going to be the 5, supposedly, will be just called the iPhone?
Maybe it could be. It's very possible.
They're going to simplify their.
Well, but think about it. If you want to buy a MacBook Pro, you just go in and you say, "I want a MacBook Pro." You don't say, "I want a 2008."
Right.
Early, whatever the hell they're calling it at that point. You just say you want a MacBook Pro and you get the newest one. So that's another possibility. I mean, Apple likes consistency, and this brings all their products in line, and they just have simple branding.
I think that's probably a good idea.
There's a lot of different reasons why they could be doing this, but it'll be very interesting to see when the iPhone.
That's all you have to say about it? You think it's a good idea?
I do think it's a good idea. Okay. Apple got into trouble the last time when Steve Jobs was kicked out of the company or quit actually, and Scully was running it for a decade. By the way, the sales went 10x from Jobs leaving it went from $800,000 a year in sales to $8 million. Anyway, so. They got these other guys in Spindler, some of these other guys, and they went SKU crazy. Yeah. There was all these models and brands, and the LS and the BUD and all these different, Mac 2 and the Mac 2A, and there's all these crazy. It was like you didn't know what you were getting. And I think the simplifying things is better. And in fact, even if you look at Intel chips, I don't know if you've looked at go to Intel's website and look at the chip offering of x86 compatible chips. You don't know what to get. There's like 1,000 chips. Yeah. And then one has this tweak, and this has got this tweak. This has got a little bit better L2 cache. This one's got a little better this. Anyway.
Well, I think it's easy. You just go to an Apple store and you say, give me a MacBook Pro, and you walk out.
But here's the problem with Intel. They have the Core i3, i5, i7s, and it's the same name as the new Sandy Bridge Core i3s and i7s. So the computer can say Core i5, but it could be 2 generations old Core i5, and this is the same situation. Imagine going into the Apple store and saying, you know,
like
I
an
want
iPad,
the
they stick with an iPad 1.
And they say, well, you mean the iPad 2 is not better than the iPad? You know, so no, the iPad 2 is the older one, the newer one. So I think it's going to add a lot of confusion. I think it's not the
well, for developers, it's going to make things
move.
very, very difficult.
Yeah, wow.
When you're having a problem with the app, which
theory.
which iPad do you have? Oh, I don't know. I have an iPad. You know, but it's easier to be able to say I have an iPad 2, or I have the first gen iPad, or you know.
I mean, I'm trying to think of the analogy in the car world. I mean, you know, the Jetta, I mean, you know, can you have like the new Jetta and the old Jetta, or?
Well, they go based on years, I mean, with cars, so that's...
Maybe I don't know. That's a good point. If somebody says, I want to, you know, I just got a new iPad, and it turns out to be an iPad 1, and it's got a, or I said I'd rather have an iPad 2 instead of, okay.
Well.
This is the kind of show we do. You've been watching X3.